going on here.
Mom life is not for the faint of heart, that's for sure.
Hello, friends. Happy Wednesday. It's Mom Podcast Day. Mom Podcast Day. We're not good at that. We need to come up with a better theme song.
I thought it was fantastic.
You were better than me, honestly. I think instantly I just go to the, what is that? Is that The Price is Right? No. Yeah, the da-da-da-da.
Yeah, it is.
Da-da-da-da-da. This is not a game show.
We could do Jeopardy. I can't
Which
think of
one's that one.
I don't know.
Oh.
I can't think now.
I don't know.
Do, 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 do.
Oh, yeah. I was like, Jeopardy had a theme song? Did they have a theme song for Jeopardy? Or just that?
I don't know. I guess that's pretty themey.
Yeah.
I don't know if they had like an intro.
Well, this week, if you're watching us on YouTube, you'll probably see us looking like this and looking like this. Because we have cameras on our children, if you can see that this time around. Cammie's children are sitting there like little angels. Don't know where mine is.
Knock on wood.
He's not in the living room. And he's not right where I can see him. So hopefully he's okay. He had a squeaky toy a second ago that we were able to keep up with him. But
yeah, we can hear where he is in the house with the squeak, squeak, squeak. Oh, he's in the playroom. I heard
okay,
him.
maybe he's okay then. Well, we should have put a camera in the playroom, but we have a Toy Story going, so I thought he would stay put. But anyways, but yeah, we're back to our normal scheduled programming at Cammie's house, recording in her basement. Yeah.
Basement.
I feel like I'm really out of it this week. It was an act of Congress just to get over here.
It was an act of Congress for me to show up as well.
In your basement.
In my basement.
I mean, you're probably not wrong. You have two to deal with. But for me, it's just like, oh gosh, every time I hear a noise, I'm going to be so nervous. For me, I think it's just, I don't know. It goes back to just like being a mom and everything that used to be simple. Oh gosh. I'm sure he's fine, right?
Yeah,
he's fine.
There's
okay.
lots of baskets he can pull down.
He is making so much noise up there. It's freaking me out.
Can we just talk about the fact that 2 weeks ago when you were here, like the girls were chasing him and he was like crawling, and then he just walks in today. He just like walks in the door, and I was like,
that sort of put in
what?
perspective for me how quickly it happened that he wasn't even walking last time I was here.
I was like, look at him go.
That is crazy because
That's cute.
You get used to it after a while.
Yeah, and I was like, whoa, what just happened?
Yeah, I didn't even realize that. Yeah, and that's why I'm more nervous because he can walk and reach things and whatever. But it's so funny how things that used to be so simple, like all I had to do, like, okay, say that you take the kid out of the equation. If I had to come here today,
yeah,
it would have been getting up, getting ready. All the stuff was pretty much already in the car. So get myself in the car, get myself ready. Before that, obviously, grab some breakfast, head over here. Like that was all I had to do. No. You had a kid in the mix, and it's get him fed, get him happy, go get a shower, but make sure that the shower is baby-proofed in the bathroom so you can put him in the bathroom with you while you shower. Yeah. Hope that he entertains himself long enough for you to blow dry your hair because you sure ain't going to have time to put your makeup on. Not me. Not today. Then get all his stuff packed up, get all his stuff in the car, and then drive over here, keep him in the car while you unload all the stuff. Like, it's just like, I think before I was a mom, I didn't realize, like.
We totally took it for granted.
Yeah.
How easy life is. Yeah. And then you add a second kid in there, and you know what happens is they just scream and fight and yell while you're trying to get ready, and then you're trying to get them ready, and then they can't find their shoes. They won't put their shoes on. It's a hot mess. We're late everywhere we go. Sorry. It's not because I don't respect people's time. It's because something always happens right before we walk out the door.
Yeah. I will say I'm proud of myself, though, because I think I told you I'd be here at 9:30.
And you were here early.
Was I?
Yeah, it was like 9:20, I think.
It's just been one of those, I don't know, for some reason, like this week, I say week, I know it's only Tuesday. I don't even know what day it is. It's only Tuesday today, but when I say week, I mean like from the last podcast, like just that week's worth. It's been just like a lot this week. I don't know why. Like my emotions have been all over the place. I've been stressed, but over like nothing that is that stressful. Like it's I think it's
like all the little things just like add up.
Yeah, I get that. That's exactly how I feel right now. Where it's just like you said, every little thing. It's like if I have to add one more, like, and my precious husband normally takes care of this. Like it wasn't his fault. It wasn't a big deal. But he texted me this morning. Was like, I forgot to take the trash to the road. And that's not even that big of a deal, but when you're like when your hair's on fire and you're already trying to do a bunch of things, you're like, oh, okay, just sit in your high chair, and then he doesn't want you to leave him in his high chair, so he'll start screaming. Yep. So it's like, let me run to take this to the curb before the trash truck gets
At least what time did they get there?
They pulled up like right as I was leaving. So
that's not bad. Ours shows up at like before 7, I'm pretty sure. So if that happened, I'd be like, it's gonna have to wait till next week.
I think ours used to, and now it's different because now I can get out there in time if for some reason they're not there. And then we just got another thing is our dryer is still broken. And like yesterday, this was a small thing that really wasn't that big of a deal, but this was a small thing, yeah. But because the dryer's still not fixed, I put clothes in last night, and I just did a few, just like necessity type clothes that I could hang on the back porch to dry. Because if it's just a few things, like the weather's so nice and it's sunny, I can dry them. And it's just like small stuff. Like this morning, I was like, they're still in the washer, so now they're gonna be like sour smelling, so I don't have to wash them again. Oh man. It's just frustrating, like little things like that where you're just like, I'm doing everything I can to stay on top of everything that needs to be done. And like I feel like people think that as stay-at-home moms and photographers, I don't think people assume this all the time, but I think some people think we've just got it made or whatever. Yeah. But now I'm really lucky my laptop's fixed, but now it's a whole nother set of problems. Now I'm trying to edit in the living room while he's in there, and he's trying to touch every key.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, okay, yes, I can do it, but it's still stressful. It's like, I'm just trying to stay on top of it, but I don't know. It's just been one of those weeks where I was just like, I had to shoot like every day it felt like, and I got them all done. Like everything's caught up and stuff, but it's that guilt of, I should be just enjoying time with my husband and son and not editing right now. Yeah. But if I don't edit right now, I'm not going to get it done.
When I do that, I have to tell Ozzy, I'm like, look, technically I'm working just because I'm like when I'm editing. Obviously I'm always working, but like when I'm editing, I'm like, this is like if I was out and about doing a job. Like, right. That's how I have to look at it to not feel as guilty because.
Yeah. And now that I've got my laptop, I can edit during the day more so I can have that family time at night. But, there were a couple times where, and it helps too because like Colin and I, we have like our certain shows we watch together, like nice. Dance with the Stars and Survivor and stuff like that.
I love Survivor.
Huh?
I love Survivor.
Oh yeah. Are you watching this season?
No, we don't have cable.
Well, we have YouTube TV.
Oh, nice.
So we use that. But like now, like we'll get, Jackson ready for bed and put him to sleep and eat dinner or whatever. And we still watch our show together, but I'll edit while we watch.
Oh, that's nice.
But even then, I feel disconnected in a way. Like, I don't think he really minds, but I just feel like I'm not giving him that full attention. Yeah. But I'm also kind of like, I would be doing the same thing if I wasn't editing. Like, we'd just be still sitting here watching our show. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I see it differently, I guess.
I feel like we can multitask
I really can. I can.
Like I can tell everything that's going on TV and, like, edit pictures.
Yeah, I can too. And it just, I feel like he thinks, I'm not talking about like my husband or anything. My husband's extremely understanding of all this. I'm just trying to put myself in his shoes. Like he probably thinks, well, why don't you just do this tomorrow? Yeah. While I'm gone or whatever. But it's like I have 1,000 other things to do tomorrow, and I try to stay ahead of editing so that no one's getting left behind.
And nobody's stressed. Like that would make you more stressed
if they hadn't gotten their photos. And they're like, and I can't tell you how many times people are like, hey, just wondering if the photos are done. And I'm like,
the next day.
Yeah, they're obviously.
Or the same
day. And I'm like, oh, yeah, they're done. I'm just keeping them from you. Like, no, like, I promise I'm working on them, and I feel like my turnaround time is pretty dang fast.
Yours is very fast.
So it's that guilt of like, and okay, here's the thing. Like, I could make more time to edit and do work on this.
But then you wouldn't have like any you time or any breaks during the day.
That, and also, I'm already asking my in-laws to keep my son a lot for me because now that the sun's setting earlier, Colin's not home from work in time. Right. So I can't, and I'm scheduling 2 to 3 shoots a week. So they have to keep him not for long, but just like in the afternoon for me to go to a shoot until Colin gets home. Yeah. So they're already keeping him, and they do not mind at all. Like I have incredible in-laws that will keep him for me. But it's that guilt of, okay, they've already kept him like 3 days this week in the afternoon, and I could really use a couple hours alone to edit. But it's like, I just feel guilty asking. But you want to know what the biggest part of it is for me? And this is so dumb, and I shouldn't be this way, but it's more of a pride thing of, I want to be able to handle my son and handle my career at the same time.
You are.
But I know that, but it's like, I feel like less of a champion mom if I have to have someone watching while I work. Like,
you don't have to though. It just makes it easier.
Yeah.
You could do it with him there, but nobody else does. Like if a mom goes to work, she doesn't have
I guess it's that stay-at-home mom pressure, though. Like, I feel like I have to be able to just handle it. Yeah. And that puts a lot of extra stress on me.
I get what you're saying. It's just, I don't want you to feel like you're actually like, that's not actually happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I guess it's just, I feel more accomplished if I was, like, if at the end of the day I can be like, I got the podcast done, I got my editing done, and nobody helped with Jackson. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, if I can, like, be like, I did that, you know, but I just feel so guilty, too, because I just know that, you know, again, my in-laws love my son. Like, they love having him. But I know he's a burden at times. Like, I don't mean he's a burden overall, but he's
a lot to handle. So anyway, to play devil's advocate to what you just said, so, like, if he was there while you were editing, yes, you can multitask, and it's like you're watching him. But think of it maybe this way, when he's with your in-laws, they're probably, like, very on hands, like, playing with him doing the stuff. And when you're editing, you can't do that. So it's a win for him because he gets, like,
that's true.
And them. I mean,
and, like, they have a closed-in backyard that's real safe for him, so he gets to go outside more. And I guess I've just always had, like, when we first brought him home, especially, I was really bad about, I did not want help. Like, I was the opposite of how most people are. I was like, I can do it. I can handle it. And I was very, like, what's the word? Like, territorial of, like, no, like, he's mine. Yeah. I went into mama mode really quickly. Yeah. And so it wasn't that I didn't want him to see his grandparents, but it was like, what if he loves hanging out with them more? I, like, had this fear of, like, what if he has more fun at Lily and Bebop's than he does with mama because mama's always working or whatever. But I try to, you know, play with him, and I mean, I know my son loves me. Like, when he's upset, he wants me. Like, I mean, I know that, but it's just that mixture of wanting to be super mom and do everything without help because I get more satisfaction without asking for help. Yeah. But also the guilt of, I know you've seen him 3 times this week. Could you keep him one more time? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, even when I was on my way over here today, I thought maybe I could just ask if they could keep him while I'm gone. But I was like, he was just there last night. Like, I just feel like I'm asking too much.
Okay. He can play with them. Okay.
And so it's really not. I know I'm not. Like, I know that they are like, they go a day or two without seeing him and they're like, bring him over. Like, they love to see him.
See, I was just thinking, like, when we're older and we're grandparents, like, I wonder if we'll look back and be like, oh man, I should have never worried about asking them to watch, because, like, when we're grandparents, I know I'm going to want to see the grandkids all the time. Yeah. So I'm like, so it's just hard, because sometimes I wish that, like, anybody who wanted to watch the kids or whatever would be like, bring them over. Like, like, I know they want to see them, but it's like, be, like, obnoxious about it so that I don't feel guilty.
Yes. Like I can't tell you how good it makes me feel when Colin's mom will say, can I come get Jackson? Yeah. That is, like, the best wording to me, because it makes me feel like I didn't have to ask. I didn't have to pressure her into it or whatever. She wants to see him. And then I'm like, take him. You know, like, we joke about that all the time. Like, take him away.
But then, look,
it's a difference in phrasing, like you're saying, for sure.
Like, Grandma, she was like, she wanted me to go shopping with her, but Adeline was down for a nap, and so she's like, well, ask Riley if she wants to go. And I was like, okay. And so Riley's like, yeah, I want to go. And so she picks up Riley, and I was like, okay, text me when you get there. Text me when you leave. I was like, okay. I like her being, like, it was a really nice break. Yeah. But I was like, oh, this is weird.
Yeah, you're not used to someone just taking them off. Yeah, that's something that I noticed made a big difference for me. Is like, even the difference in someone would say, like, I say someone, like, this is all about, my mother-in-law is the one who offers the most, and she's an angel for it. But she would say, do you want me to come get Jackson? And I wouldn't say yes, even though I did. Yeah. Like, I would just be like, no, it's okay. Like, it's fine. But if she says, can I come get Jackson? Yeah. Totally different. So it's different, you can absolutely, because then it just feels more like, oh, she's not just trying to give me a break. She just wants to see him. And by chance, I get a break because she wants to see him. Like, and it's just, in life, I feel like it's all about how you word things to people sometimes. Like, it's like,
I was talking to my grandma about that the other day, like, because I'll ask her, would you mind watching the girls while I do this? She's like, sure. And it's over text. And so to me, it's like, sure. But to her, it could be like, yeah, sure, bring them over. Yeah. So it's like, it's that too. I'm like, well, don't say sure. Just say, yes, please, can I have the privilege of watching your children? Yeah. Like, that's how I'm just going to assume her answer is. When she says sure, it's,
hey, absolutely. Where's Woody? Go get Woody. That's all I have to say. Yeah, but even in, like, I don't know. That's such a good example of just communication in general. Oh, my gosh. is like how you like word that, like,
which saying sure is fine but sometimes I just read it as sure.
Yeah.
When she could be sure.
Right. Or like sure.
Know.
Like which, I'm that way. That's why I'm always very animated in my messages. I feel like.
Me too. Sure! Exclamation point.
Yes, there's a big difference because another thing, Laura. I'm sorry, you're getting a lot of shout outs on this week, but it's because you were such a big part of my life. But like she's like a texter like that. Like she'll say okay, but with like no any. But I don't think. You want to know what I think it is? Actually, she's using her watch.
Oh.
And she's just like hitting a response that way, and that is like the most bland responses. And so you kind of like, I'm just such an overthinker. I'm like. Well, does she not want to do that?
Are we doing all the exclamation points?
Yeah, like is she upset? Like did I offend her? When in reality, she just picked the quickest option on her watch, like because she was at work or something. Yeah. And like, texting is a dangerous thing sometimes. Yeah. Which I remember when I first moved here, Samantha. Mm-hmm. I don't know, Samantha. I hope you listen to this, but she would always, actually, everybody in our friend group did this, but especially Samantha. She would put a smiley face after like every text, every one of them.
Guilty.
Yeah, but I never did that before, ever, until I got into that friend group. And then they would start putting smiley faces after everything. And so now I do it a lot. And at the time, I remember thinking, that's weird. Like, I just did. I was like, because if a guy does that, you're like, are they flirting? You know what I mean? And guys would do it. And so I'm like,
oh, yeah, that's
this is flirtatious. You know what I mean? Or creepy. Like, I don't know. Like, if a girl did it. But now it's funny because I do that, and I'm very, like, overly animated in my text messages. Yeah. So I wonder if people think that about me now. They're like, well, she's overly happy. Like, it's like I'm really not. I'm just trying to appear friendly.
I don't know what to say to that because I'm like, I used to care if people were like, oh, there's too many exclamation points, too many smiley faces. But now I'm like, all the exclamation points after every sentence and a big smiley face at the end.
Yeah.
And maybe a heart if I love you.
Yeah.
Like, so hopefully people don't think it's weird.
I just thought this was like before people were even using emojis a lot, I feel like. So she would just do the like colon close parenthesis after every one of them.
Yeah.
But it's
just a habit.
But if you know Samantha, you know that she's just actually that nice of a person.
She's probably actually smiling.
Yes, she's like genuinely just being so sweet. Yeah. But I'm like I was a very bland texter, I guess. And I was like, why are these people? I don't know. It was just really weird. But yeah, I'm extremely, extremely grateful that my in-laws help so much. And I need to just, because again, I'm asking a lot of them because I'm having to use their dryer right now. And so I feel guilty when I have to drop my clothes off to dry. Like, it's just, I do not like to ask for help. That's just what it boils down to. I like to be superwoman. I like to handle it all myself. Look at the camera. I'm just very independent in that way.
See, I'm like that, and I won't ask for help, but it's not because I don't need it. I'm just like, I'm just going to
No, I'll be drowning. I just want someone to offer me a life preserver. I don't want to have to ask for it.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, that's just how I am. Like, I've been wanting Colin to get the Halloween decorations down, and one of my biggest fears is being a nagging wife. I don't want to be that wife.
I do not fear that. Sorry, Ozzy. I will ask you every day, multiple times.
See, I'm a people pleaser, like we talked about. Like and I think something that goes along with being a people pleaser is not wanting to inconvenience anyone, which is where everything I've just talked about stems from.
Yeah, that's true.
Everything, like not wanting to be a nuisance, like not wanting to be a bother to them. Like, I am so bad about that I even bring it into my marriage.
I heard this pastor talk about this one time, and I think I've told you this before, how like closeness and proximity equals conflict or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I feel like the one place I probably should bring most of my people-pleasing skills is into my marriage, but I just don't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like...
I wouldn't say it's the most for me.
It's like, it's not... Like, I don't say yes. Like,
yeah.
How can I... Like, what can I do?
Yeah.
You know, whatever. Even though I probably should.
I don't think it's the most, but I am pretty...
You're very nice.
And I don't think it's a bad thing because I think I think there's good in people pleasing. Like, I think obviously you're a people pleaser. Like, you make other people happy.
Just not the people who take advantage.
But like, for example, do I like watching NFL? I love college football. Do I like watching NFL on Sundays? No. Do I do it? Yes.
See, you're so much nicer. See, I'll sit on the couch and like read a book while Ozzy watches.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I'll do that, but like, I'm not going to ask to change it because I know like he wants to watch it. You know what I mean? Like, even I'm just like, whatever. Like, he wants to watch it. It's first fantasy draft.
He would never change the channel.
But and even like, I really wanted the Halloween decorations down like a week ago, and I had asked him if we could get them, and it was kind of a big deal because we had insulation sprayed up there, and so it was just a mess. Like, it was more of a task than it sounds like to get them down. Like, it was just a lot, but they were too heavy for me to get down by myself, and it was just like one of those things where it's like, I want to be able to go get them myself, but like I need Colin to do it. Like it was a 2-person job really. And so I'm like, and it wasn't that he was just ignoring me or putting it off. It was just like, he was busy. He was getting home late. He was having to take care of Jackson a lot because I was having so many photo shoots. So, I would sit there and I'd be like, I really want to get the Halloween decorations down, but I wouldn't say anything. Like
I'd be like, what are you doing right now?
Yeah.
Help me real quick. But I would like,
I cannot bring myself to do it. I did though, eventually. I was like, you think we could get them down tonight? And like, I'll help obviously. And we did, and we got everything put up last night. So, but that's just a good example of like, I just won't speak up when I want something. Like, I feel like if I've said it more than once, I'm just nagging at that point, and I cannot handle being a nagging wife. But
I get that. But again, to play devil's advocate, like from the wife's perspective, why do I have to ask more than once? Which, I mean, I'm not even like dissing.
No. That's, I mean,
like,
yeah.
I mean, Colin probably doesn't actually care about the Halloween
for him,
decorations.
it's not just like, I don't want to do this. It's, I forgot she even asked me.
He's like, not even, like, that's not on his radar at all.
No, he's up at 4:30 in the morning, driving all the way to work and driving back and working a very strenuous job. You know, I actually keep seeing this on my TikTok. I think it's funny because it's just, I keep seeing the same video for some reason, or maybe it's people remaking it. I don't know.
Maybe.
But it's like this woman, and she's like humble enough to know I could never do my husband's job. And she's like, but confident enough to know he wouldn't survive a day doing mine either.
Exactly. Seriously.
I was like, that's so accurate. Because I am so thankful Colin works in what he does. He is our provider. Like, he goes out in this hot or cold weather. Couldn't do it, don't want to do it, have no desire to do it.
Would never want to do that, no.
But then when he's with Jackson, like the first time, like I've said this before, that he was home with Jackson alone, he was like, I have so much more respect for you now. And I'm like, but it just goes to show there's two sides to that coin. Like it's
for sure.
really physically demanding on their part, but then it's like emotionally and mentally and exhausting on our end. And
I saw a video the other day of this, and it said this man was like coming home, or maybe it was like just a paragraph, and it was this man came home and he was like, there were toys everywhere, the kitchen was a disaster, like the kids were outside, like they needed baths, and it was ridiculous. And he was like, it was just it was chaos. And he asked the wife, he's like, what happened? She's like, well, I didn't do everything that I usually do during the day. Like, I didn't pick up the toys. I didn't clean up the mess. Like, I cooked, but I didn't clean up. Like,
I took off today.
It's like, but think about it. Like, all day, we're just like picking stuff up.
All day.
And when Ozzy gets home, the house looks exactly the way it did when he left. And it looks like I just didn't do anything. But I'm like, there's just all these things you don't see happening.
Yeah. It's like you almost wish you could have your phone set up to do a time lapse of everything you do all day.
I thought about doing that.
Yeah.
Like, it would be crazy.
It really is. It's just, the list goes on and on, because for me, like, Colin is, of course, the main income provider, but he has no idea what our budget looks like.
Right. Yeah. See, like, it's
so
like we do. I'm like,
we handle like the budget. Paying the bills, keeping up with everything. Like, it's, I just don't think people understand, like, stay-at-home moms. Like, a lot of times we do the job of what a secretary would do at a 40-hour-a-week job,
and
what being a mother,
at a daycare does.
and being a chef, and being driving everywhere to run the errands.
Planning
like I'm like in my head right now. I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, I've got 2 or 3 other stops I've got to make before I get home, and then when I get home, I've got to like clean up, get him all that he needs. Like, it's like a never-ending list going in my head. And then the luxury that the guys have is that when they leave their job, they get to leave physically leave where they work. We live where we work.
Right.
Our work is literally always in front of us. It's exhausting, because even when you want to relax, you're like, I could really clean that.
Right.
Or like, I really probably need to do this. Or if I could do this right now, it would help me not be so busy tomorrow. Like, you're just constantly.
I also saw a thing. They was saying, when you were younger, did your parents like make you clean your room before you got to do anything? Did they make you have to clean all this stuff before you did anything? And it's like, is that why we can't relax now until everything is done? Yeah. Okay, dry it off on a towel in the kitchen.
My mom wanted my room clean. Again, this goes back to the bad memory thing, but I know she like wanted a standard of cleanliness in my room, and like it was my, like, I had chores, like I had to clean the bathroom and things like that. And I'm thankful that my mom was sort of OCD in that way, because I got a lot of that from her. And as exhausting as it is to be as OCD as I am, at least like I feel like my house is pretty tidy for the most part, and I'm happy about that.
Which I wasn't saying, like, I don't think, like, I got to do basically whatever I wanted, and I went to work whenever, did all that stuff. So I don't think that was why I'm like, when I sit down and relax, I still think about every single thing that needs to be done, and I feel like I can't actually relax.
Mm-hmm. I can't relax until you take me out of my house. Like,
even then I'm like, oh, I got this stuff to do.
Like, and I'll even tell Colin, like, he's just like, why don't you just like sit down and relax? And I'm like, I will, but like, we have got to get the kitchen cleaned up first, and I need at least some of these toys picked up, because I can't sit there and watch a show when I'm like this. I'm just like,
I know, me too. Which
looking at all of it, like, ugh.
That's why, like, I'm so like, when I started reading, literally your mind just shuts off because you're reading. So I'm like, oh, that's like
true.
Such a good
More
break.
so than a show does for me.
Yes, because a show you can really get distracted and you would like pick up your phone, but with a book it's like, like your mind just shuts off, and it's like you're just thinking about what you're reading. So I'm like, I feel like that for me is a break, and that's why I like reading so much.
Yeah, I do too. Well, I guess we can. Sorry, as I've explained before, we have to pause to reset the camera because it only records for a certain amount of time. But we wanted to get into like a part 2 of this. If it seems like we're switching subjects, it's because we are.
Yeah, so first was
I feel like
mom
we
guilt.
beat the dead horse. What is that?
I
feel like we were just beating a dead horse with talking about the stress of motherhood. Y'all get it. We're stressed. Pick up after yourselves. I don't know. We just are tired of picking up random stuff
all day.
No, but I really just wanted to like, I personally just wanted to like get into kind of what we would tell our younger selves now that we're older, because I've touched a little bit on like my high school experience and stuff, but even into young adulthood, I feel like there's just so much that I would have done differently. So much. I mean, for me, you might not feel that way, but for me, I mean, you can look back on a lot of my life and it was just a train wreck. So obviously I would have done some things differently, but
sometimes a train wreck has to happen though.
Oh yeah. Well, it develops your character obviously. And it's like, it's cheesy to say, but you wouldn't be where you are now if you didn't go through the struggles you went through. But I even like looking back on high school, it makes me laugh sometimes because I'm like it was just, you were just so worried about stuff you didn't have to be worried about. Like I was very I guess like a little backstory is that I anyone who knows me knows I moved a lot when I was younger. Like we moved every few years, but I got settled into a town where I stayed in the same school system, like the same school from 5th grade through 10th grade, which is the longest I'd been anywhere. So, I mean, that's a lot of time to establish a friend group, like to establish friends. Like, and I had best friends at that time. But I kid you not, I think that I'll tell you exactly what happened was because you got to think, here I am. I joke with people all the time and tell them I wasn't popular. Well, my freshman year, I was like first runner up in the beauty pageant. I was captain of the cheerleading squad. I was really pretty and the skinniest I'd ever been. Like, I don't know why I thought that. Like, 9th grade was a great year for me. So it's not like I was like, oh, I wasn't popular. Like, I was a nerd. No, I wasn't at all. Like, I don't know if I was popular, but I was doing something right. I mean, I had good stats or whatever.
I was the like nerdy choir kid who was like too short, and everyone thought I was like a child.
I wish I'd done choir or music more, which is funny because a lot of people think I assume I did. I didn't do anything like. Really? No, not. I mean, I think I did church choir maybe, but I didn't do like school chorus or theater or anything. And I wish I had
show choir, so it was like.
I think I would have enjoyed that.
It was
like
I
Glee.
Really did love it. Yeah, it was really fun.
I love Glee,
and we were like, but there were popular kids that were in the show choir, so
yeah,
it just wasn't me.
It wasn't. Yeah, I just didn't really. That's the thing is like I feel like I didn't know my place. I was just chasing being popular, I think, really? But which is so dumb because I was. Anyways.
I wanted to disappear. I was like, please don't look at me. Don't even acknowledge me. Like,
I wanted the center of attention.
Home.
Well, here's where I messed up because, like I said, I went through this school system till 10th grade. Well, 10th grade year, I was on varsity, but I was bottom of the. Yeah, I was on bottom of the totem pole, obviously, which it's supposed to be that way. Mm-hmm. You know, the seniors and all of them get whatever.
Yeah.
And we went to cheer camp. And I feel like if I had to give myself an identity, it was like I was the church kid. Like I was the one doing the 5th quarters and like wanting to run the prayer groups. And like I wasn't perfect by any means, but I wasn't partying with people. I didn't do anything like that. Like my mom was very strict on me. I wasn't allowed to go out. So for me, going out was going to church on Wednesday night and going to church on Sunday night. Like my youth group was like my
going out
purpose. Yeah. Like I loved being with them. So when we went to cheer camp, my 10th grade year, I really do. And if I would die laughing if some of those girls listened to this podcast, because then they'd just know for sure. But I ended up walking in on some of the girls smoking in the dorm at cheer camp. And I went and told our coach about it. I think I told somebody. And honestly, in my heart, I thought I was doing the right thing. I mean, which looking back, it's like, just don't be a snitch. Like, you can show the love of Jesus another way. Like, don't snitch. Like, come on. Because I ended up ruining camp for everybody. Because they kicked them out. We didn't have enough people to do our routine. Like, it was this whole big thing. But in my heart, in little 10th grade Ashton's heart, I really thought I was doing the right thing. Like, genuinely. I thought this is what Jesus would want me to do. So, but because of that, it was, I think I knew they were obviously all mad at me. Like, they knew
it was you.
I guess I don't know why I'm acting like they didn't. They knew it was me. And then I quit cheering.
Aww.
But I had cheered this whole time. Like, I loved it. I loved cheering, and it wasn't because of. I just loved being loud. Like, I loved the sports too. Like, I loved football. I loved basketball season. It wasn't about the status of being a cheerleader. I actually enjoyed it. And then when I quit cheerleading, it was like, for some reason, I just guess I thought everybody hated me because of this incident, which was not an incident I couldn't have come back from.
Right.
These people were going to graduate. Like, they were older than me.
Oh, yeah.
So I could have come back from it, but instead it was almost like I just freaked out and tucked tail and ran to another school.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. Me and my mom moved into Tuscaloosa more because this was in Moundville, and I went to Hillcrest, which in Hale County, where I was, it was like, I probably would have graduated with like 75. Hillcrest was like 350 in my class. So it was a much bigger school.
Yeah.
Anyways, long story short, I transferred to a larger school just because I thought fresh start, basically, is what I thought. And I was just a nobody at that school. And it's not about popularity. Like, that's what I wish I could tell myself back then, is like, stop chasing because there were people that I think really did want to be my friend that would have hung out with me, but I was so busy trying to impress the popular crowd and hang out with them that I wasn't giving these other people the time of day. And then I started dating that guy that lived in Mississippi, and just completely, if it was a weekend, I wasn't anywhere near Tuscaloosa. I was going to see him. So like, I wasn't involved in extracurriculars. I didn't even go to my own prom.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I went to his, but I didn't go to mine. And I just did not have any emotional attachment to that school. And I'm sure I could have made some great friends if I had just not focused on the popular people so much.
Yeah.
Because I just was like, it was like in my head, it's like, well, if these people don't like me, then I didn't make it. You know, I'm just mad at myself that I put so much attention on that, because it really didn't matter. Like, I wish that, because even, you know, I don't know if you remember this, which you're a little younger than me, so maybe it didn't happen where you lived and in your era, but you're not that much younger than me, but
my era.
We went through a phase, especially in Tuscaloosa, where being a Christian was cool.
No, that did not happen where I lived.
It happened big time.
That's why I was
lived.
Never cool. I was.
I apparently wasn't cool enough to be in their Christian group.
Oh,
but
no, I was at Bible Thumper, and no, I was
no.
Not cool.
So what happened was they came out with this. They started doing this thing every Thursday night at the University of Alabama called Unashamed.
Cool.
And it was run by a group of college students there, and they started it in like their backyard, but then it grew to be really big.
That's cool.
I started going when it was small. Like I didn't go to the backyard, but when they were in this like small church building, I was going then.
See, that's a very
but then
southern
it got big.
thing. Like, I'm from Missouri, so like, what is that? What even is that called right now? Mid. What is that?
West?
Midwestern?
No, where's Missouri?
It's like up. Mid. Wow, it doesn't matter. Missouri.
Someone get us a map now.
In the South, like when I moved here, there are churches everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Baptist churches everywhere, like everywhere. In Missouri,
really?
No. I mean, like slim pickings.
Well, good
churches.
for you for being a Bible thumper.
My grandpa was a pastor, so I went to his church. So like we always had a good church to go to. But had he not been, there wasn't any decent churches around. Like,
see, you can throw a rock and hit one around here.
Yeah,
like,
for sure. Well, that
in the South.
That doesn't make it a good church.
No, very, very true.
But like, it was not cool.
See, that's what. So I don't know if it's cool like it was then. Like, I'm telling you, it was weird. It was like a phase.
That's cool though.
And
I wish.
But those people that did Unashamed, I mean, they were beautiful. The guys were gorgeous. The girls were stunning. Like, I mean, they were just
like the college
beautiful
people?
looking people. Yeah. Like,
that's also maybe a Southern thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know those guys were good looking, and the girls were all their girlfriends, and they were just beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Though it's like they probably reached a lot of people because they were so good looking and popular, and everybody wanted to be them. And more power to them for using their God-given looks to glorify his name. Like, that's amazing. Yeah. But it was like being a Christian became cool. Like, it was weird. And I loved going to Unashamed. I loved it. Like, people would wait by the doors and like storm in there. They were so excited. And
that's awesome.
You know what's so funny about it though is like, we acted like these people were famous or something. Like, we would run in there. And I remember the first thing, they do this thing where they'd go, welcome to the U, welcome to the U. It was like this like hype party or whatever. You run in, and all these like good looking frat boys would be on stage and they'd be waving white towels around. Like, I don't know. It was just weird. They made Jesus fun. Like, they really did.
Though.
And it's very possible Unashamed's still going on. I'm not sure. I know it got. Okay, did you ever hear of The Basement?
I heard of it.
It was like Tuscaloosa's version of The Basement. Oh, there's a person here.
That's my dad. I'm sorry. Hi, Dad.
I was like, there's a man in your house.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I was too
startled
busy.
Me. I was like, my kid's up there. Oh, man. I had no... Well, okay. Can I just explain why this is further confusing to me? Because your dad doesn't even live in this state. So I was not... I knew it wasn't Ozzy because it didn't look like Ozzy. So I was like...
now that he's retired, he's here often.
Oh,
and he
okay.
can come during the week.
I was like,
And so now he's a pastor.
It's like, did you have some plumbing work you wanted to get done? Like,
he's a pastor now, so he can only come during the week instead of...
Anyways. But yeah, so that was like a very popular...
What is he mopping up?
Probably my son's drool.
I wish it was cool.
It was, but it was...
That was so uncool. Because
I will say that was a stage that I really enjoyed, like, of being in high school. But then, so Unashamed, I enjoyed. Because I wasn't old enough to be a part of leading that. I was just an observer. Like, I enjoyed going to it. But then my school started something that I think they were trying to emulate Unashamed. And it was called 320, and it was on Wednesday nights. Same vibe. The guys would get up there waving the towels, trying to pretend like they were those guys or whatever. And I mean, you got to understand, I'd been in church my whole life. Like, I wasn't shy about being a Christian. I never had been.
Yeah.
And they, like, didn't want me to help lead. Like, that it was the difference to me was that they were, they might be being Christian and, like, getting up there and speaking the word of Jesus, but it was a very...
Were they shallow Christians? Like, just not.
I hate to say that because I do believe some of these people have matured and grown up now and genuinely do. I think their hearts were in the right place.
I suppose most teenagers are fairly
but
shallow
it was a
Christians.
Popularity thing. And
bummer.
It was it was very much it was exclusive if you got to be on the 320 team, which I thought was a little bit I stopped going, to be honest with you, because I was like, I know what the love of Jesus looks like. I know like how to do, and I think I just let all that affect me. It was all about, like, when I transferred to that bigger school, it was just like, well, I'm not even good enough to be in the Christian club. Like, and I don't know. And, like, obviously I think it was just, I don't know how genuine that group was at the time. I mean, I hate to say that because I do believe that some of those people have grown. I mean, I'm friends with a lot of them on Facebook. I see they have beautiful families. Like,
got saved from that. That's
all that matters. That's all that matters.
Even if it wasn't as genuine as it could have been, like, if it led people to Jesus, that's all that matters.
You're exactly right. And that's what I mean
that it's
by
okay that they, like, made you feel like that.
No, and I hope that they grew from it. You know what I mean? And yeah, I don't know. I just wish I had taken it to heart, and I wish that I had, like, start my own thing, like, if I wanted to. And I did it at my old school, but at the new school, it was like I just felt so swallowed up by how many people there were. Yeah. And I felt like because this elite group of people didn't accept me, that I was just never going to be anything at that school, and I just, like, didn't give anyone the time of day.
Yeah. It sounds like you and I mean,
because I don't really know a lot about, like, your high school experience. Like, did you just have, like, one good best friend, or, like, a group of people that you enjoyed hanging out with?
So we had really different high school experiences. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like during high school, I worked a lot. Like, I worked at the local McDonald's, and I'm telling you, when I tell you I worked full time, I worked like 40 hours a week. Like,
I didn't work that much. I was part-time for sure.
Like, I would leave school, go to work, and then I wouldn't get home until like 11. Like, I mean, I, like, worked a lot. So, but when I was at school, I had a few, like, good friends. Like, they were, like, all choir friends. But, of course, I felt like I was always, like, the last friend.
But you met Ozzy in high school, didn't you?
Yeah, not till my junior year though. So like freshman and sophomore year, I was like, I had a good group of friends. They were like kind of weird, but like I was weird too. I was like, it was
weird.
It was good weird, but I was still like kind of on the outs just because we had a youth group that we went to, but it was a different denomination than I like was, which was fine. Like, but we still all hung out kind of at the youth group, and it was fun. But I was always like, just not the, nobody really cared if
you were like a
Cammie
wallflower,
showed
sort
up,
of.
like at least that's how I felt. Which maybe that's not accurate, but who knows? So yeah, I was always kind of just like that friend that was there. Like I was everybody's friend, but I also like, I had one really, really, really good friend, and she was always my friend. But she wasn't in choir with me. She was in sports, like but like me and her, we're not like still friends because we live so far away. But like if I went to Missouri, like I could probably call her and be like, hey, let's hang out, like let's meet up. But like when we all grew up, it was very evident that like I was the only like Christian of our group, because now everybody's very opposite of what I believe, which I don't. I mean, believe what you want to believe, whatever. Yeah. But it's like we just don't have anything in common now.
Yeah, I get that.
So I'm like, man, was it that way in high school? Like, did we have such different views in high school too? So anyway, I worked a lot and went to
honestly,
school. Got good
just
grades.
From the outside looking in, it wouldn't surprise me if you just were very established in who you were, what you believed, what you wanted, and a lot of people aren't at that age.
Yeah. See, I really was. Like, I always felt like I was like way too mature for my age. Like maybe I wasn't actually mature, but I was more mature than they were.
Well, you don't even have to be totally mature to just like know who you are.
And I was really confident in that, and I didn't care to be popular. Like, sure, like I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, it would have been terrible to be popular. No, it would have been nice. Like, it would have been nice to feel like people actually like really, really, really liked me, but. I don't know. I just didn't feel like I cared if people really liked me. So I guess that's a good thing. But like we just had really different high school experiences. But again, it could be the Southern and Midwestern. Is it Midwestern? Where did I come from? What am I?
I don't know. I'd have to see a map.
It's like
or Google it. I don't know.
Anyway, but yeah, I don't
know. I did care what people thought a lot, but
I did care.
Yeah,
but it didn't matter that I cared.
Yeah, I mean, well, it didn't matter for me either. But my point in that is like it carried into my adulthood. It's I still carry that with me. I mean, I constantly felt the need to have a boyfriend, and that doesn't mean that I was dating a lot of guys.
Yeah, just one.
I would keep a steady boyfriend, and then if it didn't work out for some reason, I instantly was like, well, I got to find another boyfriend. And it wasn't like a shallow thing. It was just like, I don't want to be alone. Like I hated being single. I still don't do well being single.
I had like a long-term boyfriend for a while. And then even after we broke up, we still like liked each other. We just didn't work out. And then I met Ozzy. So like I was single for a hot minute.
I had the same boyfriend for like on and off for like 4 years in junior high school.
Yeah, me too.
And he deserved so much better than me. Like he was not very like, he wasn't like a jock, like super popular kind of guy. He was just like a really cool, everybody liked him, but he wasn't nerdy at all, but he just wasn't your typical jock. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I genuinely believe this is going to make myself sound mean, and it might not even be true, but I feel like in a way, I used him to just not be alone. But I almost don't feel right saying that because, like, he was my best friend.
Yeah.
But I think it was like maybe he was meant to just be my best friend, and because that's why I think I kept hurting him was because, like, romantically, maybe it wasn't there.
Yeah.
But he was genuinely my best friend.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you're in high school, you probably should just date your best friend. Like I think
that's
fine. But I just, looking back, I'm like, he has such a special place in my heart because he's such a good guy. Like, I still talk to his mom, and like, he's just a really great person.
Yeah.
And I just feel like he deserved better than me as his high school girlfriend because I just don't think, seriously, I was a lot more shallow back then. But then, like I said, I carried that because then I dated like one other person after him, and then I got married to my first husband. And it was just like, I wish I had just enjoyed being single for a while.
Yeah.
It was like, to me, I viewed being single as I'm looking for a deeper word than a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like, okay. I viewed it as like a handicap or something. Like, it was like, you're single? It's okay. Really? You'll find someone, So like, I never wanted to be.
Yeah.
And I wish that I had been.
Yeah.
That's all I can really say about that. I wish I had been
single for a little while, and I don't know if you know this, but I moved here. You know, my grandparents, they moved here when I was in high school. I think I was a freshman or something. And so they moved here, and I wanted to move here with Grandma, you know, because me and her were really close. And so I moved here, and I was going to go to school here. I think it was either my junior or senior year, I guess.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And I was here for the summer, and I hated every second of it. I, hated it. I was like, what in the world? This is all I just want to live here, and I want to go to school here. I want to make new friends.
What year was this?
Probably 2012.
That was the year I moved here.
Interesting. But, so anyway, so that summer, I told Grandma, I was like, I can't stay here. I was like, I don't know why. I don't understand. And so then I moved back, and then me and Ozzy started dating. And I was like,
it was God just sending you back to Ozzy. It
absolutely was, because I was like, all right, I had to go find my husband. And then my grandma was like, you're never coming back here. I was like, I probably am not. I'm so sorry.
You're probably right,
And then
Grandma.
me and Ozzy got married, super young at 19. And so after we got married, we were just praying, for God's will. That's just what we've always done. And just everything that just fell into place, moved us here. And, well, I won't go into all that, but, I mean, us moving here, even Ozzy now is, I can see, God, that was a God thing. It had to be. And so my grandma was like, I can't believe you moved here. I was like, I can't believe we moved here. I can't believe I married a guy from Missouri, and he moved down here with me. It was his, not really his idea, but, one day he was like, we have to move, don't we? We got to go to Alabama. And I was like, I think so. So it was a mutual thing, and it's turned out for the best. We have 2 adorable little girls, and I wouldn't change it for the world, but getting married that young seems a little crazy. But I mean, me and Ozzy were fairly.
It's not that you would change it, but it's maybe for me at least, you think maybe if I could change it, I would have just handled things better.
Yeah.
Not that I would change my life.
Not rushed.
Right.
So much.
If I had not rushed into my first marriage, it might not have, I would have seen the signs of the things he was doing and not married him in the first place.
Right.
But it was just that my need to have a partner developed into my need to be married.
Yeah.
And it was just I felt like if I didn't marry him, I wouldn't secure him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was just so ready to be an adult. It's not all it's cracked up to be. Everyone's so ready to be an adult until you get there. Then you're like, God, why did I want this?
Honestly, though, I always wanted to be an adult. I swear to you, I'm a 70-year-old at heart. But I'm still I would still rather be an adult than a high schooler.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I just... not high school for me. For me, I would go back to
elementary school.
No.
I would go back to elementary school.
I don't want to, I love my life how it is now, but I would go back to ages 20 through 25, and I would do a lot differently in that time. I would embrace being single instead of rushing into a relationship, and I would embrace being young and in my early 20s rather than feeling like, I'm 21, I got to grow up. No, you don't. You're literally still a kid. I'm still a kid now, and I'm 29. I wish I could go back. That is, such a prime time of your life. And I think it can easily be the best time of your life.
Yeah. See, that's what was nice. I mean, me and Ozzy got married so young. It was really nice to both be so young, and we were best friends, and we got to live and be young together. Even, I mean, it was a struggle, financially, surely, but, I don't know. It was nice to... So it's I guess it just depends on the person.
To each his own.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want this to sound like I regret my life in any way. I went through some, I guess I just mean I went through some things I could have avoided if I could go back and just tell myself, dude, just slow down.
Yeah.
Just slow down. And I would have poured, you know what I would have done? I would have been single at that time instead, or even dating's fine, just not rushing into a marriage.
Right.
And I would have poured everything to my business more.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing I'd change, because if I had focused on me and my growth and my business and not been so, hell-bent on getting married, then maybe the guy I was dating would have cheated on me when we were dating, and I would have known not to marry him.
Maybe.
And my business would have been booming by now, which it is, but it would have been booming a lot sooner.
It's booming.
Our business.
It's your
you're
business.
A part of it too,
I am just your employee. Don't even. That is your business.
You're a part of it, though.
I am a part of
Our
it, but
company.
it is not our company. It is your company,
Okay.
and I work for you.
Okay.
Because that is all you, girl.
Well, I guess I'm just, my point.
In the best way, I mean.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take credit for your business
thank you.
because you built it.
I guess if anyone, I don't know anybody that's in that age bracket that might listen to this, but if you are, And if you're already married, that's fine. I'm not judging that. Like like you got married young. I think if you know, like it, you know, whatever. I guess I would just say that if you're in a position to be single or dating and stuff, like especially during that age bracket, focus on you. You have the rest of your life to worry about everybody else.
Yeah.
Build your business if you want. Build your credit up. Build your reputation in a good way. Like do things that just benefit you, because that is that age bracket is some of the last little bit of time you have left to be selfish. So make the most out of being selfish during that time. That's what I wish I'd done. Selfish in a positive way. Like just focusing on you and just don't rush to get married because you feel like you have to. If you want to get married, great. But enjoy not being married for a while, because it's all fun in the beginning and then it's still fun, but it of course gets hard. Right. It always gets hard. And then you become a parent and that's hard.
Marriage is not easy.
No, and being a parent's not easy. And
nothing's easy.
Just
so choose your hard.
Embrace that time where your only responsibility is you.
And don't do things to make other people happy. Like if it doesn't make you happy, don't do it.
Nope. I don't know. That's like the best piece of advice I could probably give anybody.
And if it doesn't glorify God, don't do it.
Yeah. And if you think that your husband might, or if you think that your boyfriend might be cheating on you, he probably is. So just don't marry him. Okay. Hey, really quick before we get off here, we're going to be doing a giveaway. I'm sorry. We got to end it. We got to wrap up, and I don't want to forget the giveaway. We are going to be doing a giveaway. I'll insert a photo here of the giveaway. It'll probably be in this area. And so to win this, we'll post it on our social media, but you've got to subscribe to our channel and like this video and like the post and everything on Facebook and share it. I'll put the details on our Facebook, and the only way that you're going to find out if you won is if you watch next week's video. So we're going to announce it next week on the podcast.
Randomly.
Yeah, we'll do like a spinny wheel thing and pick a winner.
Like we just did. We just segued into.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully this upcoming week is a little less stressful. We'll see. It usually isn't, but that's okay. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to the Mom Podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel and turn on those notifications so you never miss a new upload. See you next time.